In this episode of BEA Conversations, we speak with Jagdish Sandhu, CEO and co-founder of Frozen Lime Asia, a company that harmonizes revenue distribution, sales and marketing in the hospitality industry. Jagdish shares with us what's happening in the world of revenue management and the considerations that could impact future pricing models. Jagdish starts the conversation with a summary of what's happening today.
So it's really interesting what's really happening in the landscape right now, right? With COVID-19, our world has really come to a halt, and in some ways, we just have to recreate ourselves totally. In revenue management, we've got this predicament that right now, where do we go? We don't have any past data. We don't know where to start, or we don't know when this is going to end. So really, it's all about going back to basics. A lot of us use different systems, but none of our systems were really prepared for this situation. So everything has come to a halt, even that. So we no longer have any kind of data that we can go to look at, or any kind of analogy that we could use. So the best method is to go back to basics.
Is revenue management still relevant in the current landscape? Jack uses the Cupcakes analogy to explain how hotels are managing their business mix.
Most definitely. Revenue management is still a key fundamental, and it's where the strategy starts. So my analogy is always coming back to think of revenue management as the brain, and your distributions and sales as your arms and legs, and the marketing is all about the heart and feel. So you definitely still need the brain to come up with what is going to be next and how that change is going to be. We may be coming up with different types of packages or different types of promotion, but right now it's all about relating to people about their safety and health. And we need to be able to put that into our strategies as well. So it's no longer just a price motion, or it's no longer just about what am I going to get in it, but it's also about how am I going to feel safe in this hotel. And that's really important that we carry that through in revenue management. You know, it's all about making the batter and making that base vanilla chiffon, as we like to call it, right? Usually we would layer our business with one big base, which is our vanilla chiffon cake. And this has pretty much been thrown out, because right now we can no longer depend on just group business or, be charter travel agent business. Now we have to look for that smaller cupcakes, right? Of the different type of mix of client. You're going to have some corporate that travel, you're going to get that daredevil individual traveler that's going to travel, and you're going to get much smaller groups or smaller meetings where they're more intimate, etc. So all these little cupcakes are now going to make your base to form your strong foundation.
So Jack, what would be the makeup of the profitability matrix and the approach to revenue recovery?
The profitability matrix in revenue management is somewhat skewed at the moment, right? We've got to go back to the basic parts of cost analysis, right? So we're talking about right down to flow through. Go back and take a look at all the levels of cost lines that you have. Right down to your booking costs and the layers related to your booking costs. Where are you spending your digital marketing dollars? What are your service fees related to the systems that you may be using, or any kind of other remarketing tool that you're looking at? So by layering these costs and looking at the flow through accurately, that would give you a better profitability matrix. Now, on top of that, let's not forget, just because we are in revenue management, there's a whole lot that's going on in operations, and there's a lot more cost that is going on there too. With the different change in health and safety requirements, hotels are having to clean hotel rooms more and probably put in more systems in place to not have touch base with customers. So all these layers of cost do add to the element. So consider those factors in as well. There's many conversations about where it is at ground zero or minus 10, we like to call it, because we're really starting with nothing at the moment. And we're talking about those moments where we already know what 100% is. What is the most important thing that we're going through right now is that graduality as we're going back to normal. From 0 to 100, this is going to be a long journey. It is likely, and with the statistics that we are seeing from the airline industry, as well as the different economic factors, we know that this period is going to take anywhere between 18 months to 24 months. So we must be ready for that graduality. So don't be afraid to try new things and slowly add on your layers before going back to full stream.
Thank you, Jack. That is sound advice. As we are COVID transitioning, it may sound like it's all doom and gloom. It may also feel like there is nothing to yield, but in the discipline of revenue management, there is always a reason to. Thank you so much for joining us.